G'day everybody and welcome to another highlights video, this time from the grand final of the Karting Madness Braybrook Wednesday League. It's been an awesome season so far. We've missed a few weeks throughout it, and so we're sort of not really paying attention to the standings whatsoever. We're just keen to have a good grand final to finish off what has been an awesome season with a bunch of really good guys racing on the track. We qualified 6th for tonight, and we thought that's where we would be starting on the grid, but on our way to the grid warming up our tyres, Barlow, our pole sitter, has managed to find himself spun around on approach to the tight hairpin. Here's our pole sitter. He hasn't raced at all throughout the season. He just thought he'd show his face for the grand final. He's raced in previous seasons before, and from what we've been told, he's an absolute rocket, and we'll definitely see him later in the race. But because he had his little spin on the outlap, he'll be starting towards the back of the pack. So the goal, at least for the start of the race, is just to not waste time, not to get stuck behind slower karts, because we've been gifted a position here. We don't want to lose it to Barlow if we can afford it. We don't want to lose too much time, but we know that if he manages to have a clean race, he will be coming for us. And so here we are, lining up on the grid, now in 5th place. We've got Brian ahead of us in the green helmet, then Curtis in the green jumper, Luke in 2nd place in the other green jumper and the black helmet, and then now our new pole sitter Darko in the white jumper just at the very front. And so we're green for the final time of the season here in Braybrook, giving Brian a bit of a bump on entry into the truck section. We're clean through there, it's nice and tight. Then we gotta keep the cart hugged tight on exit to set us up for the wood section. Still figuring out what kind of cart we have underneath us. We don't want to make too many mistakes. Odd approach to the tight hairpin. The rear's feeling a little slidey. I think I've just got to warm up the cart a little bit, but I know this cart is fast. It just takes a little bit of warm up. Through the fast double left-hander, through the front S's, and that completes the first lap of the race. We're all kind of just settling into this race, but you can see the gap to the leaders is just stretching out a little bit as we figure out what kind of karts we have underneath us, what kind of pace we all have, and as we warm ourselves up, because we had single lap qualifying, we didn't really have much of a chance to warm ourselves up into the race, and this basically is our warm up, the first couple of laps of the race. And so we're all still just trying to figure out, okay, where we're at, what our pace is like, if we have a shot for an overtake. And I feel like I do, at least on Brian here. But as the warm-up is kind of stretched out the gaps a little bit, the yellow flag comes out, and that gives us the opportunity to bunch back up again. And so us front 5, and I'm sure a few others behind me, we've all caught back up to Darko. And so we go green once again, this time all bunched up, this time all ready to go and warmed up. We know the kind of pace we have underneath us. Everyone is at their peak pace now, and we know what kind of cards we have to play with. And I think that's just a testament to the quality of the league that's evolved over the course of the season. Everyone is now at quite a similar pace, and everyone is able to keep up within a couple of tenths. Going through the wood section, Brian makes a little bit of a mistake, clips the wall on the inside. He gives me enough racing room on approach to the hairpin. I go around his outside, giving him enough room, but that gives me 4th position. But now with that little scrap, that's kind of lost us a bit of time to the front 3, and so it's up to us to sort of settle into the race, get a little bit of consistency about us, and see if we can catch the guys ahead of us. And then we fast forward to the start of lap 9. Indeed, we do have a bit of pace underneath us. We've caught up to Curtis going through the truck section. We're still hanging on to the back of him. It's super tight. And I'm starting to really feel the cart. The cart feels really consistent. It's a little bit understeery, but that's kind of what I like. It helps me trust the cart, and the brakes are so consistent. Going into the hairpin, Curtis makes a bit of a mistake on exit. He hits the wall, gives me the inside line going into the fast double left. A quick squeeze of the brakes gives me the inside line through both the left-hand corners. And we emerge on lap 10, now in 3rd position, now hunting down the leaders. Do I have the pace to catch them? I've been in 3rd place before, but I've never really had the pace to catch the front 2. They've always been just that little bit quicker than me. I've never really punched through that ceiling to the point where I could really battle for 2nd or even 1st place. Fast forward to lap 22, going on to 23 here. And indeed, we've got a good kart underneath us. It's so consistent and I can trust the brakes so well that we've now managed to catch the front two. We've caught Luke and we've caught Darko. I think Luke's a little bit faster than Darko, and I'm a little bit faster than Luke, so I know if I just have a good couple of consistent laps that maybe I could go for a move, go for a dive bomb somewhere, maybe make a move or capitalize on a mistake. I think the only thing that this kart is lacking is just a little bit of acceleration, and we can sort of see that coming out of the truck section, whilst we make so much time up on the brakes because it's so steady in the braking zone. On exit, the two ahead of us just managed to just run away a little bit, but that's okay. That's a weak point we can work with throughout the course of the race. We're coming up to the halfway point and the intensity is really heating up between us front three. And the point to make here is there's Barlow behind us. Remember the pole sitter who spun on the outlap? In the back of all of our minds, we knew he was coming for us. So we couldn't really fluff about too much. We couldn't battle too much. If we were going to make a move, it had to be clean. It had to be decisive. Because we knew if we lost that little bit of time or that little bit of ground, that we had the likes of Barlow and even Lockie, who qualified out of position, coming up from our rear and looking to make a move. And so here we are on lap 25, going on to lap 26. The pressure is still on. Darko is still managing to hold on, and the thing with Darko is that he's so consistent. He barely steps out of the racing line. He barely makes a mistake. So unlike a lot of other overtakes that we can make at this track, where we're capitalizing on someone else's mistake, a driver like Darko doesn't make a mistake. There is no mistakes to capitalize on. He goes wide though, out of the hairpin. That's probably the biggest mistake he'll ever make, and it's not even a big one. It gives Luke a little bit of racing room on the inside at the double left-hander, but still, Luke can't find a way around him. Darko defends it so well. And so here we are on approach to the truck, getting around some back markers, so we've had to take a bit of a tight line. I think we give Luke a bit of a bump there, but the session is really heating up. We're just over the halfway point of the race, and I know I can get past him. Maybe if Luke makes a mistake, and here he does make a mistake. He clips the inside barrier, gives me the inside line on approach to the double left-hander. Little tap of the brakes, but I clipped the inside wall, drifting me into the outside. I think I might have cut Luke off there, and not exactly well behaved from me, but that gives me second place. I know I can work with this. I know I'm a little bit faster than Luke. As long as I can stay consistent, I could catch Darko and maybe go for a move if he makes the rare mistake. And here we go, fast forward to lap 33, going into 34, and I've caught up to Darko again. I knew he had a bit of a rough kart underneath him, and you could see he's a little bit loose coming out of the truck section. And I honestly couldn't believe it. I really wasn't mentally prepared to fight for first place. But coming out of the wood section, I chopped someone off on the inside without knowing it. I wasn't aware there was someone behind me. I knew Luke was quite pacey, but I didn't think he'd be able to get up my inside like that. But that wasn't Luke. The camera didn't see it. That was Barlow, who I think started somewhere around 10th place and has worked his way all the way up to 3rd. And now I was really feeling the pressure. Barlow behind me, Darko in front of me. For what at the start of the season seemed like an unreachable position, I was fighting for the win of the race. Lap 35 now. We're just trying to hang on to Darko, trying to see if he's going to make a mistake. But like I've been saying before, Darko doesn't make a mistake. He sticks to the racing line, and if we're going to get around him, we have to take a move. We have to make a move. Unlike most other overtakes I would make at this track where I'd be capitalizing on someone else's mistake, Darko doesn't make a mistake. And the rare times he does, you have to make the most of it. And here we go, fast forward to lap 39, coming out of the truck section. We've basically glued to the back of Darko's kart. Still feeling Barlow's pressure behind us. Darko makes a bit of a mistake coming out of wood. He gives me the inside line on exit. That's the outside line going into the hairpin. I think I can get the cutback on him, but he parks it on the apex. Brilliantly defended. I was so frustrated by this point. I think if I just went around the outside, I might have had the move done. But Darko painted me a fool there and holds on to first place again. Brilliantly defended. And fast forward to lap 41, we're still stuck to the back of Darko. Barlow in the hunt behind us, followed by Luke. on exit of the truck section, past the back markers, on approach to the wood hairpin. We're clean through there. And we're really feeling the pressure now. I need to get past Darko if I'm ever going to have a chance to win this race. He gets a little bit loose on exit of the hairpin. I get a good run, but I just don't get to his inside. Give him a little bit of room. I have to lift, and that gives the inside line to Barlow through the S's. I couldn't believe it, but here we go, side by side. And he just squeezes through, leaves me out to dry on approach to the truck section, and I lose second place. Luke gets up my inside as well, and we're side by side on exit of the truck section. I managed to hang on to that position, but oh my lord, what I thought was a chance to win the race simply fell apart in the space of half a lap. I'm shook by the last half a lap racing. Shook so much that I get a little bit loose on exit of the hairpin. That gives Luke the inside into the double left-handers, and I managed to hang on just around the outside. But here we go, on to lap 43. We've lost a bit of time to the front two ahead of us now with that little scrap with Luke. But that's okay, we knew that Barlow was going to go for the win. He's an absolute cutthroat driver with brilliant racecraft. And so we knew that him and Darko would be battling, leaving me an opportunity to catch back up. And here it is, they're side by side on approach into the hairpin. Barlow goes for the cutback and gets to the inside for the double left-hander. Darko holds it around the outside in what is a really fast section of the track. Gives me time to catch back up, but I must say that was brilliantly defended by Darko. Awesome racing from the two of them. But here we are, we've caught back up. I give Barlow a little bit of a love tap on the rear. With only just a handful of laps left to go, the intensity of this race has now turned up to 11. Barlow on the outside, again on approach to the hairpin. Darko again defends the inside line brilliantly. And here we go, now they're side by side on approach to the double left-hander. I don't know which way to go. I give Darko a bit of a love tap on the rear. He gets a bit loose, and that led Barlow through for the lead of the race. I couldn't believe it. I thought I could maybe follow Darko through to get past Barlow, but in the end I actually end up hindering Darko in front of me, and that basically gives first position to Barlow. It all happened so fast in the heat of the moment, but I couldn't let that faze me. We still had 5 laps left of the race. We knew that Barlow was an absolute pocket rocket, so that was first place, probably one and done. He's going to disappear off into the distance, but we're still hanging on to the back of Darko. We still have a chance. The number 39 kart that we've been staring at for the majority of this race, still haunting me through the vision of my visor. I wanted to get past him. I wanted this position so bad. And 4 laps go by. We're still managing to hang on to the back of him. Haven't got past him yet. Going on to the last lap of the race. If I had to get past him, it was going to be now. I scrape the tyre barrier on approach to the truck. I'm not leaving an inch of track. Blue flags on approach to the wood hairpin. We get past the back marker, clean through there. Darko's a bit wide on the apex, and it gives me half a run on the outside. He goes defensive on the inside. I go for the switchback, but I lose the rear coming out of the tight hairpin. I had half a chance there. I just needed to hold onto the cart, but I just couldn't control it. I couldn't hold onto it, and that gives Darko second place. We once again finish in third place after what was a brilliant race. Luke behind us finishing in 4th, and a massive hats off to Barlow, who, from what I understand, started somewhere in 10th place with his little spin on the outlap and came back to win the damn race. Oh my lord, that was an absolute awesome race for the win, and a great way to finish off a great season. And so now we've got a couple of weeks off until the next season starts, but we have a couple of endurance races to look forward to. 175 lap race here at Braybrook, and a team endurance race over at Karting Madness in Bayswater. We're super keen on that. And then for anyone who's watching this who might be interested, I'm also looking at starting my own league, where we would visit a handful of different tracks over the course of a 6-month season. And so if anyone is interested in that, I'll leave a link for that in the description below, where you can find more information, or you can leave your expression of interest through a quick form that you can fill out. Otherwise, that was an awesome night of racing at the Braybook Karting Madness Wednesday League. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.